Alrighty then, the first knockout round of the Champions League is here and our opponents are Real Madrid. We were first in our group, they were second. I don't know how it's this way round. But since we last met, which was the 2-0 nils, yep, of course it was, we naturally followed that up with a 4-1 win away at Watford. But that being said, the 5 games we played in between, 5 wins that we've had in between, are 5 wins that we probably should be expected to have at this point in time. They're, quite frankly, 5 wins I would expect to have even as a mid-table side. Away to relegation-threatened side, 3 wins at home to mid-table sides. Although Norwich are predicted 7th, I think, which is odd. They are not in 7th. But 2 4-1s against Watford and Aston Villa, 2 2-0s against Leeds and Stoke in the FA Cup. Wolves are our 5th round opponent. We play them in the league directly again afterwards because that's how it works in Football Manager. And then a 1-0 at home to Norwich, who, as I say, are technically the best side of those 5. But what's even more encouraging about these results is we were by far the most dominant side. Norwich never shot on target. Leeds had 1 shot, I think it was. We are really restricting the opponents whilst making chances ourselves. Something that didn't, of course, happen in the 2 away 0-0s that you saw, or didn't see, as the case was, because there were no highlights. Not much has changed in the Premier League, though. Liverpool did beat Chelsea, and it appears they've actually lost another point somewhere along the way, because if we win this game in hand that we have over them now, we will go top. I did not notice the fact that Chelsea drew with Tottenham. That's why that has happened. But Dominic Calvert-Lewin, top of the goal scoring and average rating. Alan Saint-Maximin is joint on 9 assists, I think. You just can't see him. Everything's going quite well. Minor news is we did agree an affiliate situation with Vafsi, who were just the best of the options I got. I didn't get free reign to choose. It was 1 of 5, and this seemed the best option. We do have a habit of getting French players over the years. Sissoko, Kabay, of course, Saint-Maximin himself right now. It made sense to me. It was the best of the 5 I had as an option. I think I forgot to mention I just did a financial link with Melbourne Victory last year. Getting that Australian money in. Yes, we're away at Real Madrid for this first leg. The other game today is Bayern Munich away at Club Brugge, because why couldn't we have got them? So the lineup against Real Madrid would be Castile, Digne, Ming, Soule, Lamptey, Toussaint, Gagliardini, Benacer. Gagliardini just in seemingly better form over the course of the season than Joe Willock. He'll be on the bench. Diaz and Adeyemi as my primary options in those winger roles, inverted winger roles, and Calvert-Lewin up front. 20 goals for him now, 10 for Adeyemi, 6 for Luis Diaz, who had 3 assists in a game recently. I replaced Harvey Elliott with Sesko in my registered list for this as well, so Sesko is available, though he won't be on the bench because of the fact there's only 6 spaces that isn't a goalkeeper, and in the knockout rounds, I like to keep the goalkeeper. Purely for the flexibility of roles, Moukoko and Saint-Maximin are my attacking players on that bench. Sesko misses out just by virtue of only being a striker. Digne is on a yellow card warning for this match, so if he picks up 1 today, he will be out of the second leg. He's already out of the Premier League for 2 games, so you won't be seeing him in the next match. Somehow managed to motivate Dominic Calvert-Lewin there by telling the midfield I had faith in them. Real Madrid are led by Mbappe and Rafa. There's no news on the transfer front. There was nothing happened in terms of the transfer window in January, so there's nothing to bring you there. I did agree on a deal to bring Haaland in at the end of the year. He went to Liverpool, which is fair enough. They offered him 70 grand more a week than we did. I was capped out at 230 grand a week. But with Calvert-Lewin on 20 goals so far this year, that was more just a case of, oh, Haaland's actually interested, let's try it. And we did actually manage to get to a point where he was happy to sign. Just then everyone else came in. Ball played forward to Mbappe, who went to Real Madrid on a free transfer. Both Mbappe and Haaland are moving to clubs on free transfers. And there's Mbappe scoring his 28th. Assisted by Valverde, which hurts physically. In case you're wondering why Valverde assisting is painful to me, I had him at Tenerife. He was my first key player at Tenerife. There was a year where Real Madrid missed out on Champions League football and we capitalised. They have Juan Foyth as a right-back. That doesn't feel right. There's a brief moment there where they swapped Mbappe and Rafa around and Mbappe was a trequartista. Not sure that's the best use of his abilities. One thing I forgot to say, and I didn't notice in my results, is the last 5 cup games, we won 2-0. That's clearly not happening today then. Thrash those arms. You've been terrible. Sort it out. We do have more possession. We've had 3 shots on target. Hang on. How are 3 shots on target equal to 0.3 xg? Castiles keeps that out. Offside, I think, though, regardless. The one thing I can see, though, is my fullbacks are not having a good time of things. Corner to Rafa. That confused me for a second. That really should have been a goal. I just watched that in horror as it just moved around the box. Well, that's going to be Digne's last warning, I suspect, so I will actually substitute him at this stage. And Lamptey's on a 6.1 somehow, and Barbu's coming on. Both fullbacks are changing, just because I fear yellow card situations on them. One thing I will say is 1-0 isn't horrible. 2-0 gets problematic, and that's gone to the back post. I was concerned. Although, even Newcastle can get it to the back post now, and somehow that is blocked. Castells was a dead man there. He died for that. If that had ricocheted badly, that would have been a goal. Diaz at the back post. There's actually possibly a chance for us here. The highlight hasn't ended, as Mbabu is intercepted but regains possession, and now it has ended. Cagliardini's not had a good game. After praising him pre-match, swap him with Benacer and bring Willock on to his favoured Mazzala role. We seem to be a lot less tired than Real Madrid. Mbabu, that was a weird ball. I don't know why Mbabu was that far out, actually, as well. We don't play wide. Good tackle from them, but it does go straight to us. Calvert-Lewin plays it back to the goalkeeper. Calvert-Lewin. By the way, there is just one thing I want to highlight here, and you can see it in this moment. This is why I like this role. The halfback is here. I mentioned it in a fairly recent episode that the halfback almost operates as a third centre-back at times. That's the proof. And now we had possession. You see, he moved that a little bit further forward again. But as soon as we lose that possession, he's in the defensive line effectively as Mbappe gets that ball. It's a block, actually. It's a fantastic block. I thought Marla had just absolutely skewed it. Back post corner, Castells gathers. Shout out to them shout out to Real Madrid persisting with one Foyth as a right back when they brought Marla on the pitch. I'm not massively unhappy with the 1-0. I'm unhappy with the performance. And considering Mbabu and Tsimikas both got booked after I brought them on, really glad I took off the original fullbacks. I know Dino wasn't booked, but if he had got booked, that would have been the suspension. So basically, good tactical for me there. I'm not happy with the performance as a whole. Sule's demotivated. I don't know why. We were terrible. He was actually fairly alright though. We were the 7. Anyway, 2 days off and then Liverpool. Thanks, Shay. Didn't know Van Dijk was a good player. Arezzo gets Young Player of the Month. Again, this isn't his first one. I think he's on 12 goals in 18, probably more than that now. 13 goals in 21 all told. And remarkably, this is my first Manager of the Month of this FM. Somehow, despite getting into the top 4 last year, I did win a single Manager of the Month in that process. Or indeed Manager of the Year. Those end of year awards just didn't appear, by the way. I don't know what happened. The Team of the Year, Manager of the Year, Players of the Year. Didn't get any of that in the end. No clue. But yes, in case you've forgotten, Steven Gerrard took over at Liverpool after Klopp went to Man City. I will say, whilst these questions annoy me as a manager, it is amusing to see it when it happens to another manager. Gerrard must have been in charge of Liverpool about 2 weeks before I nicked Tsimikas off him. Like, I know it happens to you. You take over a club and you sell a player within the first transfer window, and then every time you see them, it's like, yeah, it's fantastic to see the lad. I never managed him. We're not supremely far away from youth intake, actually, thinking about it. A few people are a little tired, but we do have the double Wolves situation. I would forget to say that Nianzou was just straight up injured, by the way. That's why he's not featuring. Didn't sell Lewis Cook. Nobody wanted him, except for Oxford, who came in for him again. Still won't go to Oxford. Even the teams that were interested in him weren't interested in him. I offered him out for loans, and then the feedback said, oh, they'll only take him on loan if this is the deal. So I offered that deal. They still didn't do it. Like, what's the point in telling me they'll only pay 10% if they don't then agree to that? Yeah, so next year, Liverpool will have Lewandowski and Haaland and Osimhen, who is their current backup striker. Not sure what's going to happen to him when Haaland arrives. As Taro Mings gets his 4th goal of the season, they have been way less this year. I've not changed the tactic in any way, shape or form. As far as I'm aware, Football Manager hasn't updated, but for some reason, this hasn't happened anywhere near as enough. That's not English. Nowhere near as much. That's the sentence. Robertson, who's just been injured seemingly, does basically the same thing to us with Jordan Henderson. Not quite a corner, but it might as well have been. Whips it in, Henderson, near post. 3 red shirts went for that. 3 of them. Person at the near post didn't bother with it. Person marking one of them did go with them. Mings has picked up a lot of bookings. I don't know if he was in line for a suspension. That goes close. Sule's down the rebound. Sule's hit the crossbar as well. Oh dear God. Like, at this point, I get free kicks and just think, oh, that's fine. Like, free kicks oh, for crying out loud, Adeyemi's been our best player. Not today, 6.4. But anyway, while I lament the fact that Adeyemi's been injured, what I was going to say, free kicks are basically the new corners. Get a free kick, you know nothing's happening. That one hit the bar. I thought, oh, that's a little bit interesting. And then Sule comes in and it's the bar again. That's the most interesting free kick I've ever seen in this year's game. Makoku comes on, he's left-footed. My only problem with Tsimikas at left-back not playing well is his only replacement with a suspension is Mings at left-back. I had one in the under-23s, but I loaned him out. Not that good, obviously, but decent team talk. By the way, in case you're wondering why Mbabu is constantly upset, he actually officially asked to leave. I denied it. But the only reason why he's asking to leave is because he thought he wasn't good enough in the first place. Yet he's played at least 10 games this year, and many more as a sub. Maybe 10 starts is probably a bit much, actually, but I can't afford to let him to go because he's my only homegrown club player. Outfield, Lamptey, Mokoko. This move is building. Toussaint, back to Toussaint, across to Mings. Mings charges because he can, because he's got that covering from Toussaint. Lovely ball through. Luis Diaz should have done better. Luis Felipe is coming on for Robertson. Did they not replace Tsimikas as a backup left back? Evidently not. Yeah, he is not a left back. I love this guy. I've had him before. He is not a left back. He is less of a left back than Juan Foyth as a right back. They've just brought this guy on, by the way. I went in for him in the summer. They outbid me. I was not prepared to pay up to like £26 million for him. Like I was aiming low 20s at most. And considering he's at Liverpool and he's still worth about that much, I think I did the right thing. Calvert-Lewin is tired. You know, someone who's played for Everton, Calvert-Lewin, you should understand this match a little bit more. Maybe fresh legs wouldn't be the worst situation. Luis Diaz is the same as well, actually. So yeah, just change the front three because there's people in yellow cards, but I can't deal with this left back situation because I have nothing to deal with it. Saint-Maximin on the corner. Benacer's there. That was a different outcome. Mings nearly scored, but with his feet. And as this game hits injury time, 1-1 on the scoreline, we remain unbeaten for the season. And bear in mind, Liverpool just beat Chelsea. I'll give him a general, I'm pleased with that. Many fans voiced their displeasure that Tsimikas wasn't substituted. I did not have a substitute. Actually got up to a 6.5 though. Oh yeah, what type of injury was it? Groin. Not insubstantial, but not substantial, probably. Probably going to be a couple of weeks. Groin strains, right? Oh, wow, that's one of the worst groin strains I've seen. 4 to 5 weeks. Just what we needed. Oh, Barco. We'll get £4 million back from Everton. I've paid them £30 million this year because of appearance fees, and now we're about to get £4 million back again. I don't know why we're having this particular financial dance with Everton. So it's only going to be basically a net £9 million in extra fees this year that we paid to Everton because we're about to get 4 back. Yeah, bless him. He's valued quite well there now, but he's had an okay season. 24 million, slightly under his value, I suspect, in the long run. But if we get 4 more million out of that, we've already had £3 million worth of extras. About to get another 4. There's another 2.5 somewhere down the line. Leeds ease past Man City. I did not see that result. City are 4th. Brings Man UFC back into play, and West Ham for that matter. 49 points with the game in hand. Could get to 52. Brings them both back into play for that 4th at least. But 65, 64, 61, slightly becoming a top 3 with that 4-point gap on Man City from Liverpool. We've got 7 on them. Yeah, 7 points on them. 10 draws, 0 losses. I haven't looked any further than the Portuguese league, but we are the only unbeaten side in the top divisions of Europe. And we are 2nd. Imagine going unbeaten and not winning the league. And really, the biggest test to that will be next episode. Manchester City, following the Real Madrid 2nd leg, which we are obviously going to have to go all out in. That's going to be the biggest test, that Manchester City game. Although we do get a little bit more time between Real Madrid and Manchester City than we did Real Madrid and Liverpool there. That was a Wednesday, Saturday. Second side of things is a Tuesday, Sunday. So a bit more of a breather there, especially as we play Tottenham on the Friday of the previous week as well. So a little bit more breathing space on the second part of this. But look at the remainder of that run. Manchester City are the biggest threat, and arguably, considering the way we played this year, the only one that we would be expected to possibly lose against. Leicester away, slightly tough, but we wouldn't necessarily be expected to lose against when you consider that. So I'll play the double Wolves and Spurs, and we'll bring you back, of course, for the other side of this Real Madrid. 1-0 away from home, it's overturnable. It's overturnable, which means we've got the Premier League. It's an option. We've got the FA Cup, certainly an option. Man UFC play Man City in that, by the way. One big team will fall. And a not impossible task in the Champions League. I'm not expecting to win the Champions League, I will say that one. Premier League seems an option right now. The FA Cup is the one I'm definitely focused on as our first bit of silverware. So, next time out, we'll see how well we can fare in at least 2 of those compositions. Or 3, I suppose, because you'll get the result of the Wolves match, which you won't see as well. So until next time, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal by now. If you've been enjoying this, if you've got this far. Season 3, it's going well. Until next time, ta-ra. Who needs Haaland?